For more, let's bring in Israel's ambassador to the UN, Danon. Ambassador Danon, let's start there with these anti-Semitic attacks. They are rising here in this country. I want to play for you a soundbite from former FBI James Gagliano, who is warning that this is just the beginning. Watch.
With all the attention since October 23rd, in Israel and the war in Iran right now, we are going to see more ISIS-related and inspired attacks. And why is that? Well, propaganda and attention is the coin of the realm in the terror business.
Ambassador, is he right? And what's your message to the Jewish American community?
Unfortunately, he's absolutely right. You know, we look at the numbers here in the U.S., in Europe. Those acts, of anti-Semitism, hate crimes are on the rise. We see those cowards, they cannot face the IDF, so it's much easier for them to attack babies, to attack synagogues. It's shameful. We expect from the local authorities all around the world to take action against those people who incite against the Jewish community. And we see it in the US. We saw the attack in Toronto, in Amsterdam, all over the world. It's out of the box anti-Semitism today. The genie is out of the bottle, and it's very hard to bring it back. So we have to face it by indicting those people, putting them behind bars. Declarations are important, but are not enough.
Yeah. The UN Security Council this week issued a resolution condemning Iran's attacks on at least its Gulf neighbors. And what was so interesting about this was that China and Russia, which Iran claims to be its allies, did nothing to veto this. Here is the Iranian foreign minister responding to that today.
The Security Council is suffering from the lack of justice in its decisions and resolutions it makes. It was the United States and Israel who started this war. They deserve to be condemned, not us. Well, the Council votes, politically, and based on the interest of, certain countries, and not based on realities, based on justice.
What's your reaction to him?
Well, first, it was a very important week in the UN for two reasons. First, the initiative for the condemnation, it didn't come from the US or from us, from Israel. It came from the Gulf countries. Mm-hmm. They initiated the resolution. They gathered the support. And the second fact that it was supported by so many countries. It passed in the Security Council, and more than 130 countries endorsed this resolution. So Iran is isolated. It's not only us, it's the entire world saying to the Iranian, enough. Enough with this radical aggression against Israel, against the Gulf countries. They even attacked Turkey and Cyprus in the last few days. So they are desperate. They panicked. And I think the Minister of Foreign Affairs should apologize to the Iranian people instead of complaining to the Security Council.
Israel is striking Lebanon now, at least Hezbollah inside of Lebanon, and the Israeli Defense Minister, Israel Katz, sort of signaling that this might be a long campaign. He says this is only the beginning, and the Lebanese government and the state of Lebanon will pay an increasing price through damage to Lebanese national infrastructure used by Hezbollah terrorists for conducting terrorist activities and firing towards the state of Israel. Hezbollah, of course, creates a lot of chaos in the region, sir. Is the war spiraling now? How much further is this going to go? Do you expect Israel to take it further?
Unfortunately, we do see the escalation in the last few days. Aisha, we have no beef with Lebanon. On the contrary, I believe we will sign a peace treaty with Lebanon in the near future. But the problem is that the Lebanese government, they say the right things against Hezbollah, against Iran, but they don't apply sovereignty. They don't take control over southern Lebanon. And Hezbollah uses this area to launch rockets into Israeli communities. So we have no other choice. If the Lebanese government will not make sure that Hezbollah is restrained, we will have to continue. We will have to use even more force in order to stop the rockets flying into Israel.
I do want to ask you about the Iranian leadership, because it was on this show we talked about, this hope that there would be a regime change if there were going to be strikes. The president believes that the new supreme leader is alive, but injured right now. And there are videos that the IRGC continues putting out there. We don't know, if it's fake, if it's real, if it happened recently, of IRGC leaders walking around in the middle of Tehran shaking hands. The people clearly are not rising up. We're not seeing that yet. So is there still hope? Do you still have hope that there might be a regime change? Because the signs are not there right now.
We definitely hope and pray for a regime change. The Iranian people deserve much better. For 47 years, they were oppressed by this horrible regime. And you know what we have seen in the last 2 weeks, that we have weakened the regime. And I think the time is coming. In the next few days, the Iranian people will have the opportunity to take action, to rise up. I know it's hard for them after what happened in January when they were massacred by the regime. But now I think the regime is not in the same situation. You know, when they look up in the sky, they see the pilots of the IDF and the US Air Force, and the regime is weakened. So if, I'm sure they're watching us now, and I'm telling my colleagues, now is your time. Now is your time to lead for a change in Iran. You have the opportunity.
Okay, we'll see if they heed that call. Ambassador Danon, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.